Welcoming all of you to the Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Jayananda Gauranga prabhuji. Prabhuji is going to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 4th canto 24th chapter 10th verse. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, are you present on the call?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll hand out the call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sakagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padal Sakagana Dalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namani Namatarya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayini Gauraktaha Dhamadaya Nagaragramatari Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyavi Shatharani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakavata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today is Bhishmashtami, so we'll speak a few words related to that, and then we'll begin the discussion on the Bhagavatam. So Bhishma was the 8th son of Shantanu, who appeared in the Lonar dynasty, and River Ganga is the mother. And Bhishma is one of the 12 Mahajanas who knows the principles of transcendental knowledge. And among the 12, we have Brahma, Narada Muni, Shiva, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahalad, Bhishma, Janaka, Sukadeva Goswami, and Bali Maharaj and Yamaraj. So he was so powerful, Bhishma Dev, that he could actually stay in his body as long as he desired. And he got this benediction from his father. And he has done many wonderful things during his life, and some of the notable things are during the Rajasuya sacrifice of King Yudhishthir, how he explained to the crowd the glories of Krishna, and as Krishna was given the first respects. And then during the Shanti Parva of Mahabharata, King Yudhishthir and his brothers, they come to see Bhishma Dev. And when they come to see Bhishma Dev, at that time, Maharaj Yudhishthir has a number of questions. And he asks him, like, who's the most worshipable God? And if there is one God we need to worship, who it is? And a number of questions like that. And immediately Bhishma, he turns towards Krishna, and then he says, Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaraha Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhuta Kritbhuta Vritbhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavana. So that if you are to worship, then please worship Lord Vishnu. And as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this way, he explains the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu to Maharaj Yudhishthir and those assembled there in the presence of Krishna. And later, after the Mahabharata war is over, and Bhishma Dev was lying on the bed of arrow, still this the representation of this is there in the place Kurukshetra. and the city of Kurukshetra, it is there in Haryana. So Krishna accompanied with the Pandavas. They came to see Bhishma Dev. So at the time, Bhishma Dev, he remembered the different events that happened during the Mahabharata war. Bhishma Dev wanted to see Krishna angry, and he knew that Krishna was very kind upon him. So, but then he pretended, he pretended to kill Arjuna. So yet he tried to agitate the mind of Krishna. But Arjuna, so Krishna thought that it was Bhishma Dev. Krishna thought it was that Bhishma Dev was to see him in his angry mood, and so he broke his promise. And to fulfill the desire of Bhishma Dev, he got down from the chariot and he took the wheel of the chariot and going forward to kill Bhishma. So Bhishma Dev, as soon as he found Krishna in the angry mood, he gave up the fighting of weapons and prepared himself to being killed by Krishna. So this attitude really pleased Krishna very much, and he recalled this at the time of his death, and this angry feature of Krishna. So Bhishma Dev, he was a military man, and so he was very pleased to see Krishna in the military spirit as such, just as the gopis wanted to see Krishna as the most beautiful lover. So there is no difference between the attitude of the gopis and that of Bhishma Dev in the matter of exchanging transcendental mellows between the Lord and his devotees. So Krishna can be loved in any feature, and because he is absolute, there is no difference to love Krishna as a military man, just as Bhishma Dev tried to recollect in his deathbed, or as a gopi. So the other things which Bhishma Dev also recollected at the time was due to the fact. So he said that Bhishma Dev, he said that Duryodhana was very upset with Bhishma Dev for not fighting vigorously in love for the Pandavas. And Bhishma Dev, he, as a military man, Bhishma had, he said that he will fight very hard to kill Arjuna. But with Krishna as protector, no one in the world could kill Arjuna. So Krishna's body was pierced. But Bhishma was very angry, and Krishna's body was pierced here and there and all over. As a military man, Bhishma had no right to shoot the chariot driver, but he knew Krishna's body was not material and he will not be harmed. So he took pleasure in piercing the body of the Lord. And Bhishma Dev, he was lying so pierced with the arrows that he laid down with all the arrows standing on the end stuck, and he was remembering all these pastimes during the war. And Brahma, Lord Shiva, they all came in the sky along with the demigods, and they threw flowers on Bhishma Dev. And again, Bhishma Dev gave many instructions to those who assembled. And so we just wanted to discuss a few words about Bhishma Dev. And we will, all glories to Bhishma Dev. We'll proceed towards the Bhagavatam verse. So, the verse today, Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 4.24.10. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Ashtapraye Swabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Yasyedam Devayajanam Anuyajyam Vitanpataha Prachinagrahe Kusher Asida Astritam Vasudhathalam. Yasyedam Devayajanam Anuyajyam Vitanpataha Prachinagrahe Kusher Asida Astritam Vasudhathalam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Maharaja Barhishat executed many sacrifices all over the world. He scattered the Kusha grasses and kept the tops of the grasses pointed eastward. Purport. As stated in the previous verse, Kriyakandeshu Nishnataha, Maharaj Barhishat dived very deeply into the fruitive activities of sacrifice. This means that as soon as he finished one yajna in one place, he began performing another yajna in the immediate vicinity. At the present moment, there is a similar need to perform Sankirtana Yajna all over the world. The Krishna consciousness movement has started performing Sankirtana Yajna in different places, and it has been experienced that wherever Sankirtana Yajna is performed, many thousands of people gather and take part in it. Imperceptible auspiciousness achieved in this connection should be continued all over the world. The members of the Krishna conscious movement should perform Sankirtana Yajna one after another, so much so that all the people of the world will either jokingly or seriously chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And thus, they will derive the benefit of cleansing the heart. The holy name of the Lord Hare Nama is so powerful that whatever is chanted jokingly or seriously, the effect of vibrating this transcendental sound will be equally distributed. It is not possible at the present moment to perform repeated yajnas as Maharaja Parishad performed, but it is within our means to perform the Sankirtana Yajna, which does not cost anything. One can sit down anywhere and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If the surface of the globe is overflooded with the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, the people of the world will be very, very happy. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we will cover 3 learning objectives for the day. The first one is, what is yajna? Number 2, what is the yajna for the age? Third, why does Sankirtana Yajna need to be performed everywhere in the world? This is the subject matter of the purport today. So the first learning objective here is, what is yajna? So what is yajna? A sacrifice is a ceremony performed to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So just as in an office, it is the duty of a worker to see that the proprietor or the master is satisfied. So everyone's duty is to see whether the Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied by one's own activity. So the activities to satisfy the Supreme Godhead are described in the Vedic literature. And the execution of such activities is called yajna. So let's revisit again. What is the definition of yajna? So the activities to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are all described in the Vedic literature, and the execution of such activities is called as yajna. So what activities do we do to please the Lord? So the Bhagavad Gita, so this is, when we go see the definition of yajna, all we have to do is just go see the 3rd chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna gives a very detailed explanation. There are many verses describing yajna there. Yajnatat karmano nyatra. So this is Bhagavad Gita 3.9. So if we do not work for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, the reaction of our work will bind us. So that is the key point there. Yajnartat karmano nyatra. If we do not work. So what is the consequence of not doing any work for the satisfaction of Vishnu? The simple consequence is that work will be binding. So we'll be bound by that activity. So in the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said that the yajna should be performed for Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu, we just told about Bhishmashtami, where he narrated 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu in the Shanti Parva of Mahabharata. Vishwam Vishnu Roshitkarha Bhutavavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhutakrit Bhutabhrit Bahu Bhutatma Bhutapavanha Bhutatma Paramatma Cha. So Mukthanam. So in this way, one of the names in the 1,000 is yajna. It is clearly stated that everything should be done for the satisfaction of yajna or Vishnu. And Bhishmashtami confirms that among the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, that one of the names is yajna. All other actions of a person all they will do is they will be causes of bondage. If one is not performing the activities as a sacrifice to Vishnu, who is Yajna, then those actions will cause bondage. Everyone has to perform yajna according to the Vedic hymn. So it is not something that randomly one comes and decides, okay, so I'm going to be performing all these random activities for the satisfaction of Vishnu. So in this age, it is very clear that what is the method of sacrifice? It is Sankirtan. Saha yajna praja srishtva. So subsequently again in the next verse itself, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 3.10, Saha yajna praja srishtva. So it is confirmed that the Lord Brahma created all the living entities. So including human beings, demigods, and advised them to perform yajna according to their material desires. So these performances are called yajna, because the ultimate goal is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. So such performances, even though they are in the karma kanda, or material activities, and all are material, so the material and all material activities, they're contaminated by the three modes of material nature. So the karma kanda ritualistic ceremonies are performed in a mode of passion, yet the conditioned souls, both the humans and the demigods, they're obliged to perform these yajnas, because without them they are not going to be happy. So it is like there are two parts to it. One, so the living entity wants to be happy, so we do need to offer sacrifice. So yajna is sacrifice. So we offer the sacrifice. So the living entity, because of their limited knowledge already being in the conditioned state, they do get the benefit of material. They do get the material benefit. They get the rain, they get the heat, the sunshine, and they get all the things that the demigods offer. And at the same time, they are trying to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offering that back to the owner, who's Krishna. Yome bhaktya prayachati. So that means that it has to be offered to Krishna. So that is yajna. Everyone can perform yajna at home. So because they are eating, so everybody's eating. So everyone. So but if you prepare the items, so Krishna says patram pushpam phalam toyam. So prepare these nice varieties of food stuff and offer it to Krishna, and that is yajna. So that is a sacrifice. Yajna shishta sina santo muchyante sarva kilbisha. So if you take prasadam, Krishna will not eat everything. So he will eat and he will leave some for us. So you don't be afraid. So Prabhupada says one doesn't need to be afraid of that, because if you offer Krishna, that he'll take away. So Krishna is it's not like he's hungry. Even if he's hungry, he can, Krishna Prabhupada says he can eat the whole universe. So just satisfy Krishna. So, and then, so it is given by, since it is all we need to say, according to Prabhupada, is Krishna, everything is given by you. The food grains, the fruits, flowers, it is Krishna's gift. So one first taste or eat. Okay, then first Krishna should taste and then we eat. Krishna is very satisfied. So all that we need here in this yajna is Krishna's satisfaction. So what is the summary of all what I said? Because there are many things which that were discussed here. So what is being said here is those who want to enjoy this material world, they need to perform yajna, which is absolutely necessary. One who does not follow such regulations is living in a very risky life, because that kind of a lifestyle is condemned. So the yajna system itself is planned in such a way that the sensory conscious, those who are materially conscious, they may satisfy their desires without being entangled in the reaction of sense gratificatory work. So they want the material things, but how to do it in a way that will not bind them. So the prosperity of this world depends on our own efforts, but also it doesn't depend on just our efforts, but also on the arrangement of the Lord directly carried out by the demigods. The demigods need to shower the rain, they need to provide the sunshine, they need to provide all the ingredients required for life. So therefore the yajnas are directed at a particular demigod mentioned in the Vedas. But then in a sense, you see, it's not like you're able to please all the 33 million demigods. It's not possible to please them. So indirectly, it is the practice of Krishna consciousness, because so these yajnas which are directed at the demigod, they're all indirectly Krishna conscious, because when one masters the performance of yajnas, one is sure to become Krishna conscious. So that means it is a prescribed activity. So even if one is targeting that towards sense gratificatory work, they will make progress in Krishna consciousness. So one should not take this lightly. And so let's go to the second learning objective. What is the yajna for the age? So the Lord created this material world for the conditioned souls. And why has He created this? Because so that we can learn how to perform sacrifice for the satisfaction of Vishnu. So that while in this material world we can live comfortably without anxiety. So that means that the purpose itself is to perform sacrifice. So how do we understand what do we do in this age? So that is there in Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, verse 32. Krishna varnam tusha krishnam sango pangastra parsadam yagner sankirtanam prayir yajantihi sumedashaha. So in this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence, they will worship Lord. And how do they worship? Accompanied by His associates, and they perform the Sankirtana Yajna. Krishna Varnam, Krishna Jiva Goswami actually gives a lot of explanation for this verse. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishna. So, Krishna, the color of Krishna, which is blackish, and Tusha Krishna, that is opposite to that. So in this age of Kali, Krishna comes. This is a verse that introduces Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam, in the color which is opposite of Krishna. Sangha is along with devotees. Sango Pangastra Parsadam, along with his devotees, he comes along with his associates. They all come together. Yagner, what is the yajna? Sankirtanam prayir, and he comes with different weapons, and the weapon he chooses here is the sacrifice, which is Sankirtanam. Yajna Sankirtanam prayir. Yajantihi sumedha. Sumedha, medha is intelligence. Su is auspiciousness. Sumedha means, so in medha is intelligence. Su, you add the word su, that becomes auspiciousness. So sumedha, that means somebody who is wise. Intelligence doesn't have to be, so you need to qualify that with the word su, then the person is wise. So what do the wise people do? The wise people will follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's what the verse is saying. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangasara Parsadam Yagner. So Prabhupada is not concocting by saying this, that this is, or our Vaishnava Acharyas, there is no concoction here. By saying, okay, the sacrifice in this age is Krishna Sankirtan, it is there verily in this verse. Yagner Sankirtanam Prayet. The chanting in this age of Kali is Krishna Krishna Sankirtan is the sacrifice for this age. So those who are wise, those who are wise will follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's what is telling in this verse. And then if you see, there will be series of verses after this. Vande Mahapurushe Shri Charanaravintam. And to this great Mahaprabhu, we offer our humble obeisances. There are these series of verses that follow this in the Bhagavatam. and glorifying Mahaprabhu. And Jiva Goswami cites us very frequently. If you see the Bhagavat Sandarbha, he cites this verse, and then even the many other things. If you look at the Krishna Sandarbha as well, he cites this verse very frequently to explain the path of devotional service and the performance of Sankirtan, and about the identity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as explained in the Bhagavatam. So even Bhishmashtami himself in the Vishnu Sahasranama, he also states there about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there, since we spoke about Bhishmashtami today. Swarna Varna Hemango Varangas Chandanangati Sanyasa Kritakranto Nishtashanti Varanaha. So Swarna Varna, in the golden complexion, Swarna Varna Hemango. Hema means gold. Hemango Anga is body, the golden bodied. And he performs Krishna Sankirtan, and even Bhishmashtami in this Vishnu Sahasranama he says. And the same word Sumedasha is also there in the Vishnu Sahasranama. There also he is used as a name for Krishna. That Krishna is the wise. So, and the devotees of Krishna are also wise. Sumeda. Sumeda basically means wise, which are those who are intelligent, those who are worshipping Krishna. So, and who are those who are wise? They perform yajna prescribed in the literature. So if you see the yajna prescribed in the literature, it's not very easy, because they require a lot of ingredients. So in this age, the Sankirtan yajna is easy and it is sublime. It will take care of all the purposes. So those who Sumedashaha, therefore those who have not, those Prabhupada says, those who don't have good brain, okay, they take up this yajna process, Sumedashaha. The opposite of that is Alpamedashaha, those who have limited intelligence. Or according to Prabhupada, the definition is less brain substance, so it's basically less intelligence. So they are unable to follow. So we can very clearly see that those who are following the Krishna Sankirtan, that means that they are moving toward, they are intelligent. So Lord Chaitanya, however, so he inaugurated this performance of yajna, namely Sankirtana yajna, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accepts the principles of Krishna consciousness. So he actually inaugurated this. The first Nagara Sankirtan was done by the Lord himself as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he started in Navadvip as he was moving towards the Muslim king Chand Qazi. So at that time he inaugurated the performance of congregational chanting of the Krishna Sankirtan as they proceeded along the Navadvip. So this performance of yajna is a very difficult task, because all the demigods must be invited to participate in this yajna. But in this Kali, all that is not possible, because they are very expensive, and it is possible to, and nor is it impossible to invite every demigod to participate. Otherwise, it's going to. So in this age, it's recommended Yajna Sankirtanam Praye Yajantihi Sumedashaha. Those who are intelligent should know that in this Kali, there is no possibility of performing Vedic sacrifices. But unless one pleases the demigods, there will be no regulated seasonal activities or rainfall. So everything is controlled by the demigods. Under these circumstances, in order to keep balance, you need social peace and you need prosperity. So you need some balance. So all the intelligent men should execute the performance of Sankirtana Yajna, or chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this Yajna will satisfy all the demigods, and there will be peace and prosperity. Another difficulty in performing Vedic ritual sacrifice is that if one fails to satisfy even one demigod out of the hundreds of thousands, so we can see that verily in an example of Daksha, so he failed to satisfy Lord Shiva, and there was a disaster after that. So in this age, there was a spiritual revolution that is now recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what does he say? What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? So he demonstrated the Yuga Dharma for this age of chanting the holy name. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a had a twin purpose, right? According to Chaitanya Charitamrita, one is the internal reasons. There are internal reasons and there are external reasons. The external reason is to start the Yuga Dharma. And the Yuga Dharma is Krishna Rama Sankirtan. So if we want the mass of people to be elevated, the sinful activities must need to be stopped. That means that the Yuga Dharma needs to be performed. So what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, there is a verse cited actually, this is frequently cited in the Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. And this is directly there in the Bhagavatam, in the 12th canto. Krite yadhyayato Vishnum Tretayam yadato makhe. So that means Krita Yuga, Satya Yuga, dhyayato. So there, meditation was performed. Vishnum, they add the word Vishnum, so it's not like you go, in this day and age in Kali, you find so many people coming up with all weirdo ideas. So they might say, so the meditation is being performed, you meditate on that, you meditate on this, it's not meditate on anything, so it's qualified. By saying Kriteya Dhyayato Vishnum, to meditate on Lord Vishnu. Tretayam Yajatho. So in Treta Yuga, it is sacrifice. The fire sacrifices which are done. We can see that frequently Lord Ramachandra, he went to, he protected so many fire sacrifices. He went in the very first day, so when sage Vishwamitra, when he first went to King Dasharatha, he wanted Lord Ramachandra to protect his fire sacrifices. So at that time, sage Vishwamitra, he went to Ramachandra Prabhu, and he stood in front of him, and then he narrated this famous verse, which is cited which is there in the Valmiki Ramayana. Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate. So that's the verse which was recited by sage Vishwamitra, and it appears in the Valmiki Ramayana. And later in this 13th century, around 13th, 14th century, later it has been adapted to many of the Suprabhatams. But then it was originally spoken by sage Vishwamitra to wake up Lord Ramachandra. Kausalya Supraja. Su is good, Praja is citizen. The eastern, the Sandhya Pravartate. So in the eastern Sandhya, the twilight, the sun is rising up. So please get up. So, and why did Sage Vishwamitra call Ramachandra? Is because of to perform, so that he can protect the fire sacrifices. So, in the same way, Sri Ramachandra Prabhu, he goes and protects the fire sacrifice from Maricha, Subhahu. They were all many demons who were coming and obstructing the fire sacrifices. One of them was killed, and the other person, Maricha, was thrown into the ocean. And this way, he protects many fire sacrifices. So that's very evident in the Ramayana. Dwapare. So in the Dwapar Yuga, So Archana, which is the worship of the temple worship, is widely prevalent in Dwapar Yuga. We can see that from the history as well. Baladev, when he did not participate in the Mahabharata war, he goes on a pilgrimage. And there are many recitals of the different temples that he visited. He visited the Padmanabha Swami temple in Thiruvananthapuram in south, in Kerala. So in this way, there are distinct temples that he visited, and even Arjuna, when he visited different temples, there are in the Srirangam temple there is Arjuna Mandapa there. So in this way, there are many temples that have been visited. So it's not like most of the temples there may be temples that have been reconstructed by the different kings and the present governments because they have been dilapidated over the course of time. But that doesn't mean that the deity and the temple itself has been constructed in the 5th century or the 3rd century AD and so on. That many deities have been existing for many years. And many thousands of years they have been existing and being worshipped. And but because they have gone into dilapidated condition, different kings and the emperors and even the modern day governments, they have reconstructed the temple walls, and but that doesn't mean that the temple itself is new. Kalauta Dhari Kirtanat. So whatever result is obtained in the Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing the sacrifices, and in the Dwapar Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet. Okay, that is Archana. In Kali Yuga, all of that can be obtained by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is also confirmed in the Vishnu Purana, in the 6th canto of the Vishnu Purana. Dhyayan krite yajan yajni stretayam dvapare archayan yadyat apnoti tadapnoti kalau sankirte keshavam. So in this age of Kali, so whatever is achieved by meditation in Satya Yuga, the performance of the sacrifice in Treta Yuga and worship of Lord Krishna's lotus feet. In the Dwapara Yuga, the same thing can be obtained in Kali by glorifying the names of Kesha, Kalau Sankirte Keshavam. So by chanting the holy names of Krishna. So Jiva Goswami has further cited from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. So thus in the age of Kali, the practices of austerity, yoga, meditation, deity worship, sacrifice and so on, and many subsidiary functions, they cannot be properly carried out. Because like even the ghee or whatever is needed, you need pure ingredients, and that is not available in this age of Kali. Then the environment is polluted by per Bhagavatam, and even the most expert embodied souls, they need a process. And what is that? Cheto Darpanam Arjanam. So you need to, that's what Prabhupada says in the purport here. We need to cleanse the heart of all the dust accumulated for years. Cheto Darpanam Arjanam. Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvarpanam. So extinguishing the fire of conditional life. Bhava Mahadavagni. It is just burning all the time. It's just always we are in an agitated state of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. So Shreya Kairava Chandrika. So Vitaranam Vidhyavadu Jivanam. So this Sankirtan movement is the main blessing we have for the masses, for the people at large, because it spreads the rays of the moon-like rays. Shreya Kairava Chandrika. It spreads the rays. So beautifully it spreads the rays, and then it cools down. So this extinguishes this fire of conditional life. So it is the life of all Vidhyavadu Jivanam, of all transcendental knowledge. So it increases the ocean of transcendence, Anandam Buddhivardhanam. So it increases the ocean of transcendental bliss. Pratipadham Purnamritha Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Bhajeti Shri Krishna Sankirtana. So it increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. So we are always in this anxiety, and this Krishna Sankirtan will extinguish that. Will extinguish that, and it will increase the ocean of transcendental bliss. Whatever we are looking for, everything is there in Krishna Sankirtan. So let's go to the last learning objective. I'll be brief here. We are almost done. So the last one is, why does Prabhupada say that the Sankirtan Yajna need to be performed everywhere in this world? So actually, this very thing what Prabhupada is saying here in this purport, he said that in one conversation in London on 15th August in 1971. So Prabhupada talks about King Barishat. So as a grandson of Maharaj Prithu, so he Prabhupada actually cites this in just a casual conversation. So you see how much Prabhupada is wanted to implement the things which are said in the Bhagavatam. So he cites there that he actually got this idea of spreading this, doing the Sankirtana Yajna all over the world from the grandson of Maharaj Prithu. So he says there in that casual conversation in London that the grandson of Maharaj Prithu, he performed many sacrifices on the surface of the earth. And they were, and what happened was there was this kusha grass, the grass was scattered all over the earth. So yajna, they all required the kusha grass. So the kusha grass, it was scattered all over the world. So Prabhupada says that this sacrifice of the grandson of Maharaj Prithu was his motivation to perform the yajna. So similarly, Prabhupada says, we shall perform. Prabhupada says, we shall perform the Sankirtana yajna all over the world, town to town, town to town. So it was inaugurated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in this day and age, if you see, even those who are not in a sampradaya, in an authentic, bona fide Vaishnava sampradayas, many people are still performing Sankirtan all over. They do perform Sankirtan, but they're all just offshoots of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given. Whether they acknowledge or not, everything is an offshoot of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu systematically inaugurated the Yuga Dharma. Nama Sankirtanam yasya sarva papa pranashanam namamo tukka shamanaha tam namami harim param. So, in accordance with the Vedic scriptures, in accordance with what is said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated this Krishna Nama Sankirtan, the Yuga Dharma, and it is Prabhupada's desire, and he clearly says that the grandson, even though he's not naming the grandson when in his casual conversation, he said that he performed so many yajnas on the surface of the earth, and he's referring to this particular verse actually, that there were only kusha grass scattered all over the world. There was this grass was scattered. So why don't we perform? So all over the world, since the grass was, after performing yajna, the goal of Maharaj Barishat here was to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He might be externally, it might be looking that he is just performing sacrifice one after the other. So Prabhupada says, similarly, we shall perform the Sankirtana yajna all over the world. Okay, so it is Harinama Sankirtan. Kalau Sankirtya Keshavam. Kalau Sankirtya Keshavam. So we need to perform this Krishna Sankirtan all over the world, and that will solve all the problems. Whatever it is, whether it is materially we need something, even that is going to be satisfied, but then we will make progress towards Krishna. And at some point of time, our Krishna consciousness will, the latent Krishna consciousness, we will be able to see. So we will stop today's discussion here. I offer my humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnavas who are assembled here. Vancha kalpatarpyascha kripa sandubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And we'll open this call for any discussion. And thank you so much to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for wonderful class, Prabhu. Very valuable points. If anybody have any questions or realization, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for the very nice class. Very clear and very nice. And I also like that you quoted that conversation of Prabhupada about connecting the grandson of Prithu Maharaj to what he is doing. That was so beautiful. It was very, very nice. Thank you so much for that. I just had one question to do with the first part of the class, which was Bhishmashtami. So Bhishmashtami is considered to be the appearance day of Bhishma. How is it, Prabhu? or the disappearance? And then if can you also throw more light on the dates, because oftentimes we get this question, why is Bhishma Panchak first, and then you have Advent of Bhagavad Gita, and then you have so-called Bhishmashtami? So can you clarify those chronological dates also, if possible, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
So Bhishmashtami is the day when he departed from his body. So wanted to first thank you, Mataji, for the nice words that you had mentioned. It is the day when he departed from his body. So it occurred during the Uttarayan period. So that is, it is usually observed in the month of Magha. So this corresponds to now between January, February. So he was Bhishma Dev. He was. It's the day when he passed away. So so what is the question, Mataji, again? What did you want me to say? So this is during the rising phase. So the moon also, this moon also in the lunar phase also is it is a Shukla. This is the Shukla Paksha in the month Magha. So Ashtami is the 8th day. So Magha Shukla Ashtami is falling on this day. And as per his, he had this wish that he can leave his body at any time. So he was lying on the bed of arrows. And then during Uttarayan, when the sun is moving in the northern direction, and then at that time, so people, at that time he decided that he will depart. And so Krishna, and along with all the Pandavas, they come and see him. And when they come and see him, again, Bhishma speaks very nicely, and this is cited in the Bhagavatam, in the 9th chapter, I think, of the 1st canto, where Bhishma Dev gives a lot of, where he speaks about the absolute truth and about Krishna, and he says many, many wonderful things here. And just prior to this, prior to all this, the Mahabharata war that happened, like during the December month, we see that at that time, the Mahabharata war happened. And that's when, after the Mahabharata war was over, during the, that's described in the Shanti Parva of Mahabharata, that's when Bhishma Dev, he talks about, gives the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. And so that's about Bhishmashtami. So what else did you wanted me to speak about, Mataji?
The Bhishma Panchak that they follow to offer Pitru oblations for Bhishma Dev, where they pray for him. For him, because I don't know. I've heard that they also what is that? We do the Pinda type of thing for ancestors. So they also do that for Bhishma Dev during that time. So why would it be so early? Was my question. I don't know.
What will be early, Mataji? So that is the last 5 days in the Kartik month, known as Bhishma Panchaka or Vishnu Panchaka. So their at the time, the Bhishma, he fasted for 5 days. During that is actually stated in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa. So that if one is capable, so so we say that we should, one in the Hari Bhakti. So Hari Bhakti Vilasa, that's a book which Sanatana Goswami actually wrote. He wrote, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami he compiled, and there he says that we need to observe that for the pleasure of the Lord, that the fast should begin by remembering Bhishma Dev. So that was on the so it starts on the Ekadashi day at that time, and then it ends on the Purnima. And this is all based on and that is just based on whatever is given in Padma Purana. So it's a 5-day worship, but that is in the Damodar month, in the Kartik month. And Lord Krishna becomes, basically he says that Lord Krishna will become very pleased with that. So the last 5 days at the time, that's when that is observed. And So to take, so there are many austerities that one follows during those 5 days, and so if the fast is basically it's started by remembering Bhishma Day on the Ekadashi day, and then one should, at that time it's recommended one eat vegetables or just fruits, and one should worship Krishna. And if he needs to eat, then Prabhupada says that he cites here of what Sanatana Goswami says, that one can eat in the evening, and in the month of, and this is mainly done in the month of Kartik at that time, and Bhishma Deva was actually preparing. So it was, he was basically preparing for his, to leave the body. So he was basically preparing for that, and that is before the Mahabharata war.
Yeah, so why would he be, I didn't understand that part. He's fasting to prepare for leaving his body at that time. Before the war started in the Kartik month, what was that significant? That was the question.
Because Bhishma Dev, he is a Mahajana, so he already knows how the war is going to, what the war is. He's already lived, so many years and everything. He's as far as his Bhishma Dev is concerned, the war is just it's just a formality. It just needs to be done as a matter of duty. He's already preparing himself for to leave the body. So that is so once the Bhishma Panchaka is done, and then he's just preparing himself so that because he knows that on the 10th day of the Mahabharata war, he's going to he's able to see the Mahajana. They're able to see the past. They're able to see the present. That is why he's able to. He knows the course of events, how things are going to happen, and so he was preparing at that time. So that is an entirely different episode, and we are observing that, following the footsteps of our Goswamis of where because it is clearly stated, and because the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, it gives very detailed descriptions of how worship needs to be done, and that comes basically from instructions which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he gives to Sanatana Goswami in Varanasi, where he tells them that Sanatana Goswami has to compile this book about deity worship and how worship needs to be done and everything, and about the different fasting and everything, and all that based on the instructions which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Sanatana Goswami. He compiled that in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa. So whatever we know about Bhishma Panchaka and what we need to do, what we need to fast from, on the Ekadasi what we need to fast, on what we need to fast, all the way up to Purnima, everything is coming from Hari Bhakti Vilasa, which in turn cites from Padma Purana. So
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Kind of get an understanding. Yes. And also I wanted to thank you for bringing up the points on the verses that come after Krishna Varnam Tvasha Krishna, indicating it to be Mahaprabhu. That was very interesting, and thank you for that as well. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thanks for your patience. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Very, very beautiful class, Prabhu. Thank you so much telling about the importance of Ekna, why only and this Sankirtana Ekna in this Kali Yuga, and what is Ekna, how we can perform at home with no hard work. Very, very, very nice explanation, Prabhu, in simple words which can understand very easily. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for beautiful class. Hare Krishna.
Dandavad Pranam, Mataji. Thank you for the kind words. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. We feel that we are sitting in Shri Shri Radha Gopinath temple and class is given by Senior Brahmachari. That much potency in your class. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful, Mataji. Thank you so much for sharing. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very beautiful class. So Prabhuji, for Bhishmadev, he I heard it's called Bhishma Panchak because Bhishma Pitamaha has done that, and he was so strong, and he was able to do that. So for us, it's very hard, we get like kind of experience. You can eat this, you can do this, you can do that. So it means he was doing it every year, or just for before war he did, or means now we understood. Before it was very hard to what I was thinking, he has done it when he was on the bed of arrow, but it's not possible now because war started after that, after Bhishma Panchak. So he was doing for just to please the Lord, or why?
So there are many verses related to this fast. So basically, what there are, my Guru Maharaj, there many instructions were given to us for these, that there are many types of fasting that can be done. One, the first, the highest variety is where the first day one eats cow dung, the second day cow urine, third day is cow milk, fourth is cow yogurt, and the fifth day is the combination, panchagavya. Or if one is not able to do, then one can go to the second class of fasting, which is with nuts and but still avoid the milk products. And then the third, the lower variety is to do the havishya. And and all this, there are references to this in the Garuda Purana, there are references in the Skanda Purana as well. And because it's all done at the end of the Kartik month, so there is a Kartik Mahatmya also talks about that. So this, even though it might be hard, so the fast is begun by remembering Bhishmadev, and starting on the Ekadasi and then ending on the Purnima, and anybody can observe this fast by suggestion, and even it says that whatever state one is, whether one can observe this fast, and we do this because it is given to us in our in our lineage. It has been given to us. It has been explained by Sanatana Goswami and grandfather. And here Bhishma Dev, he fasted for 5 days, preparing for preparing to give up his life after war. And so if one is capable, then one should observe this Bhishma Panchaka for the pleasure of the Lord. Everything is during the 5 days you still have Ekadasi for 1 day, so the 1 day is already covered by Ekadasi, and it just makes all this just pleases the purpose here is to please the Lord and make spiritual advancement. So the purpose here is not that one just goes through and says, okay, I've done this austerity, I've done that austerity, kind of a thing. If any austerity is useful as long as it is able to please Krishna. So if we are able to please Krishna, then those austerities have meaning. But otherwise, the austerities are there. It will still help one in going towards, if it is not done with pure intent of just pleasing Krishna, even in those circumstances, there are advantages. And the advantage is, one, that you are simply listening and following what our spiritual masters have said. And or in the other end, at least you will be in the mode of goodness, and mode of goodness is always conducive to move towards Krishna consciousness compared to mode of passion, ignorance. So any of this fasting and all these things, even if it is not done under the spiritual, even if it is not done entirely spiritually for the pleasure of Krishna, even then it will still at least be in the mode of goodness, even if observed for even if it is done just as a matter of austerity, and that also will help one at some point of time to become Krishna conscious. So
Thank you, Prabhuji.
thank you. Any other?
If nobody have any question, can we end the call here? Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your enlightening class today, and we are very grateful to you, Prabhu. We look forward to your session again and again. If nobody have any question, we can call here, paying obeisances to Prabhuji and to all the devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu hevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.